The time is now 5:51 on this Monday morning, and here's what you need to know before you go.
A former UMD climbing coach has been sentenced in federal court to more than 6 years in prison for possession of child porn. 45-year-old Lucas Kramer was also sentenced to 5 years of supervised release and ordered to pay restitution to his victims. According to court documents, in September of 2022, law enforcement received a tip that an online account uploaded more than 24 videos of child pornography to the internet. Law enforcement traced the Duluth IP address to Kramer, who was a longtime collegiate climbing coach. A search warrant found Kramer had more than 600 images and videos of child sexual abuse, some victims as young as toddlers. He pleaded guilty to the crime last October. When handing down the sentence, the federal judge said Kramer showed callous indifference to the humanity of his victims.
The Trump administration's effort to shrink federal operations is creating confusion for many organizations. Many are wondering about the future of the Great Lakes Toxicology Lab in Duluth. Members from the St. Louis River Alliance say they are concerned as the research done by the lab is critical for keeping the Great Lakes and St. Louis River clean. Now, nearly half of the Alliance's budget comes indirectly from federal funds. Second Harvest Northland is also feeling uncertainty due to federal changes. Some spring USDA food deliveries have been canceled. Second Harvest supplies 60 food shelves in the Northland, with 36,000 people in the region utilizing those each month.
Mont du Lac Resort celebrated their final day of the skiing season Sunday by raising money for one of their own. Pat Stoyevich, a Twin Ports native, has skied on the Mont du Lac Hill for 55 straight years. The former ski coach was diagnosed with stage 4 skin cancer, and in honor of Stoyevich, the hill was turned into Montescare for Care for a benefit event. And for many, this was a way to repay someone who put the community first throughout his time at the hill with the Minnesota Special Olympics and, of course, the Haunted Shack he puts together each year. Raffles, silent auctions, and a costume contest were all held, with all the proceeds going to Stoyevich for his medical bills.
The Minnesota Department of Agriculture has confirmed emerald ash borer in 3 new locations for the first time. It was confirmed in Aiken County, in Pine and St. Louis counties. Infestations were discovered in new areas, expanding the original quarantine areas. Now, this brings the total number of counties infected to 54 in the state. The insect kills ash trees by tunneling under the bark and feeding on the part of the tree that moves nutrients up and down the trunk. Emergency quarantines are now in place in Aiken County and new areas of Mille Lacs, Pine, and St. Louis counties.
True North Goodwill is expanding one of their locations, offering more services to community members. The store now has an additional 2,000 square feet and a new donation drive-thru at their Kenwood location. There will also be a career navigation center in the store where community members can get help finding a job. The Career Navigation Center will help people create their resume and more. Goodwill leaders said they plan to open that Career Navigation Center in the coming months. The company is also building a new Hermantown store that will be completed mid-April.
Now, one Northlander now holds the title as the best of the best in the world of fishing. So Grand Rapids native Easton Fothergill just won the Super Bowl of pro fishing for landing a 3-day total of 76 pounds and 15 ounces for the Bass Pro Shop Bassmaster Classic. Not only does he claim the title, but it comes with a pretty prize pool of $300,000. Now, you might remember Fothergill, as we did a story with him just last year about how he was climbing the ranks in the fishing world right after having brain surgery. So a big congratulations to Easton for this major achievement.